What's up, guys? This is Zach from Flash Out Media, and I'm with my partner in crime, man, and man Harley. We're gonna give you the weekend recap of all the fights that happened, which was a lot. Harley, you got anything for the viewers before we pop this thing off?
Yeah, man. Like Jack said, a full weekend recap. Man, we had about 4 or 5 fight cards we're gonna cover from one FC to UFC to PFL to boxing. We're gonna have it all covered, man. Before we get into it, like and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Flash Out Media, and just hit that like button. Spread the word for us.
All right, starting with the UFC. We'll start our way down and work our way up. We had the first fight in the prelims, Deanna Belbita taking on Maria Oliveira. We said this would be a very close fight. It was a close fight, and Belbita was actually able to get it to the ground. And in the third round, land some significant strikes. Maria Oliveira, man, she's such a good athlete, but she lacks a little bit of IQ, and IQ is won the fight for Belbita. So that was the first of many wins for Canada that night. You got anything to touch up on this fight, or?
Yeah, man. I wanted to say this. You pretty much hit the nail on the head when it came to fight IQ. Um, and I don't like to come on here and bash fighters, but I was disappointed at Oliveira for the simple fact of, man, you got a massive reach advantage. She got so much length, and she let Deanna, you know, do what she wanted to do. She didn't make her pay for coming inside. She didn't pop a jab in her face. She didn't use deep kicks. She didn't use side kicks. She didn't do anything to keep her at range, man. And uh, look, props to Deanna Velveeta for getting in there, doing what she had to do to get the job done. So I'm not taking anything away from her. It was a solid victory. But as far as Maria Oliveira goes, man, she got to really go back to the drawing board. Really, really go back to the drawing board and really focus on the basics, man. You got so much range, so much reach and length, or really any opponent you're gonna face. You got to know how to use it. Right? And if she can use it, she's gonna be in a bind for the majority of the fight because she's not explosive enough. I don't think to really, clean a girl's clock with 1 or 2 shots. She's got to be able to put her combinations together, keep the fight at range. She's not super explosive, so she's got to be able to keep the fight at range and pick her opponent apart. And she's not making them pay for getting inside. Uh, do you kind of see that as well?
Yeah, I think she does have the capability to put girls out. She just doesn't know how to really turn over her punches. She's a hell of an athlete.
Yeah,
Got a lot of stuff these girls ain't got physically, but she's just making a lot of mistakes. I mean, at one point she threw a double flying knee 3 times in a row. I mean, without setting it up.
yeah,
She's taking her own self down. These girls are just capitalizing off of her mistakes, and I think that was a fight she could have won.
yeah. And I agree. And I want to touch on that one more thing as well. Like you said, she went to the flying knee 3 times in a row, and it really didn't cost her. But eventually, you keep doing that, somebody's gonna time that and clean your clock. You know, so she's got it's little things like that. I think she got a chance to do something, but she's got to go to the drawing board and really hone in on some things. But we'll see.
All right, moving up the card, we have Steve Erceg, upsetting David Dvorak. David Dvorak was one of the bigger favorites on this one. Erceg takes this on, I think, 8 days notice. And man, he shocked everybody, including me, man. Erceg showed some very good striking. Was landing some hard shots at David Dvorak. David Dvorak is known as a technical boxer with good wrestling. And Erceg was able to hurt him, locking some submissions. And it's one thing if you're the underdog and you knock the guy out, but when you're the underdog and you win every single round or 2 rounds to win, it really shows that like you're well rounded, you belong there. And David Dvorak was a ranked guy at 125. Steve Erceg, wasn't even in the UFC 2, 3 weeks ago, and now he's ranked at 125. So I think he's definitely going to be a player in this division. Very good strikes, very good subs, and he's scrambling, man.
Dude, I got one word to say about that. Wow.
Yeah,
For Ursay to come in there on 10 days, listen, people, 10 days notice to fight David Dvorak, who's ranked in the top 10, number one. Number two, to come in on 10 days notice and fight on that magnitude of a card. And people say, oh, it's just the prelims. I don't give a shit. You're still on that card. You're still on ESPN. You know, worldwide audience. Anybody can see it. And to come in there on 10 days notice and not like Zach said, not only win, but really dominate the fight and everything. You know, look, the commentators brought this up at one point. Ursay was giving it to him so good, man. I think it was I don't remember what commentator said this, but they were like, man, Ursay is making Dvorak look like he's the one that's taking the fight on 10 days notice. Ursay took the fight to him, was wearing him down, was winning every exchange. Even when it got to the ground, he was doing it as well. You know, it didn't get to the ground much, but I'm saying, like, you could tell he got some good scrambles, good abilities on the ground. Dude, Ursay, man, now look, I don't want to put too much out behind him yet, just because that is, one fight. But damn, man,
he
you
looked good.
can't ask for a better UFC debut than that.
Nah, for sure. I mean that, like I said, it's one thing to catch a guy early, but when you show that you really are
Yeah,
better than this guy in every facet, that speaks a lot.
yeah, that ain't no fluke, man.
So keep your eyes on Steve Erceg, man. Kyle Nelson versus Blake Builder. I tried to tell my boy, man, don't sleep on the veteran, man. I tried to
You
tell him.
did. You called it, man.
I
You
tried to
called it.
tell him, man, don't sleep on the young veteran. But in all seriousness, man, Blake Builder did look good in the first round. Gets caught with some calf kicks, gets caught with a good shot at the end, and that kind of changed the dynamic of the fight. Round two and three goes back to the calf kicks, goes back to the jab. The jab is what really worked for Kyle Nelson. Blake Builder was undefeated before this. And even in this first fight against Shane Young didn't really put him in any danger striking wise. You know what I'm saying? So I think Blake Builder will build from this. And Kyle Nelson, man, don't sleep on that boy, man. That man a veteran, man. A man got 6 UFC fights. Come
Yeah, man. Well, shout out to the veteran, man. Kyle Nelson. I agree though, man. Competitive fight. But like you said, the veteran did what he had to do. Started landing them calf kicks and hurt him a couple times on the feet to really take control.
Yo,
And he started wearing Builder down as the fight went on. So big props to Kyle Nelson to get him on track, get him back on track, and take Builder's undefeated record away. But like you said, I think Builder will be fine. You know, it's never fun to take a loss for any fighter, but that's his first loss in his career, and I think that he can really learn from it and let this loss make him better, man. So
Steph, most
definitely not the last time you're gonna see definitely not the last you're gonna see a Blake Builder, but huge props to Kyle Nelson, man, to get a very solid victory.
say that again.
Good performance. Huge props to Kyle Nelson to get a solid victory, man. And
Hey,
props to Uncle Zach for peeping that, man.
so Belbita got the win. Kyle Nelson got the win. Up on the board for Canada is 2-0. Kyle Nelson was an underdog. Canada was on fire, and we're gonna keep racking up that number as we break this card down. Moving up, Ayman Sahabi, Canadian, takes on Ori Lang. You know, Ayman Sahabi being like 34, 35, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking he was gonna be the more of a technical guy. You know what I'm saying? His
Dude.
brother is the head coach of TriStar, head coach of GSP. Like, I'm thinking they're gonna come with the strategy and just slow Ori Lang. No, they do the exact opposite. Dude comes in, puts his lights out, and not just like one that you could argue like late stoppage. Nah, that nothing to argue about. The dude was out. Eamon's a hobby, man. I think that's 3 wins in a row. Let me double check that, man. Let me check the Carfax. Yes, 3 wins in a row for Sahabi at 135. Come on, man. Canada on the roll, Zahabi on the roll. What you got to say about this?
I got one sentence. Amos Sahabi cleaned his clock, and man, he made a damn statement. You know, like you mentioned, I think that's three. That is three wins in a row for Sahabi, correct? Man,
Yes, sir.
I mean, look, we both picked Amos Sahabi to win, but I wasn't expecting that. You know,
No.
I mean, dude, he came out and flatlined him, dude. So look, Amos Sahabi's on a roll, and look, I'm not saying that they'll give him somebody ranked next, but dude, if he rips off one more win, I think it's time to give him somebody ranked.
Hey, man, it's now or never for him, and he's doing the right
Yeah.
thing. Canada on the scoreboard, 3-0 now. We move up to the next fight. Another underdog that won. Jasmine Judovicius beating Miranda Maverick, man. And this was so god dang frustrating to watch, bro, because
This
Miranda
surprised me.
Miranda Maverick was initiating the wrestling, man, when she didn't need to, bro. I think, Jasmine did everything right. Her wrestling's on point, her wrestling defense, her hands. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong. Does Miranda Maverick need to drop down to 150?
Yeah, I think so.
I think she isn't the worst striker, but she was on her back foot the whole time, and I don't think it's because like she probably is not trained like that. I've rarely seen her fight like that. I think this was a girl that was just way bigger than her, and the skill set was there as well. And when you don't belong in that weight class, you're not gonna look like yourself.
Yeah. Um, Something I want to point out on that fight. You know, first of all, props to Vita Vicious, man.
Hell
Really
yeah.
solid win.
That was a big
Really, really solid win. Hell yeah, absolutely. And a win that I quite honestly was not expecting. With that being said, man, Miranda Maverick wasn't dominating her on the feet, but she was getting the better of the striking exchanges, and her corner was, begging her, please stay on the feet, don't shoot. But every time Jasmine would put her in, I don't want to say trouble,
yeah.
because she never was in huge trouble. But every time Jasmine would start letting her hands go a little bit, man, she'd shoot right away for the takedown.
Yep.
Boom, boom, right away. And it's like, man, no, like you gotta understand. And look, I know it's easy for us to sit back. Hell, I've never fought before, obviously, but I'm gonna just throw it out there because I don't want people to sit here and think that I'm, trying to be this expert or whatnot. But it's easy for us to say when we're sitting
And
here watching a fight.
can I touch on that?
Yeah,
Okay. I was always the smallest guy in the gym. I was always the smallest fighter when I fought, right? For me to take somebody down, I had to set that shit up and really, really get their timing. And if I
exactly.
knew they had good hips and they had 20, 30, 40 pounds on me, I'm not even trying. No, bro. No. I'm trying to capitalize off
Yeah,
your mistakes. Like, it's not, and Jasmine wrestled her whole life. Miranda didn't. Like, it's not a good idea, man.
exactly. And the thing is, number one, Miranda was winning the fighting exchanges. Number one. Number two, Jasmine's the biggest taller girl. Number two, and number three, when she was shooting out of desperation. Like you said, she was never setting up a shot. She was
There's
just shooting out
only
of desperation.
there's only one way this would have worked for Miranda Maverick if she's getting off on her hands and has her on her back foot. It's the only way you get him
Exactly.
down. Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. Peter Yan ain't the better wrestler, but he's able to get him down. You gotta
Exactly.
initiate something that sets them up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Maverick was doing the opposite. When she was being first, she was striking boom, 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 boom. But when Univicis was throwing her shots, then she wanted to take her down. Like, no, first of all, let me just make this clear. She shouldn't have tried to take her down not one time in that fight. Yeah, man. So, like when first of all, I wouldn't have wanted Maverick to shoot at all. Period. Regardless.
Right.
But if you're gonna shoot, like Zach said, at least set it up with her hands. She was doing the exact opposite. She wasn't shooting Judovicius was getting her on the back foot.
It's like a
So
desperation shot, man.
Yeah, exactly. It was complete desperation. That's all it was. And it's like, man, you have to follow. Let this be a lesson to any fighter or to any young fighter. You have to follow the game plan. I know it's easier said than done when the bullets are flying, when you're in the heat of the moment. But there's a game plan for a reason. And look, props to Jasmine Judovic. She did what she had to do to get the win, a very solid win. But Miranda played the fight right into her hands,
Yep.
in my opinion. You know,
Yep. Yep.
so let this be a learning experience for Miranda Maverick, and she'll be back. But big props to Jasmine Judovic.
All right, moving up the card, last fight on the prelim, man. We had Imavov taking on Chris Curtis. Imavov looked damn good, was, controlling for the most part the whole entire fight. Looked good with the jab, effortless takedowns, and against Chris Curtis, that's saying a lot because Curtis has beat some really good guys. Curtis could never really get going, and we kind of mentioned that it would be, can Imavov keep what he's doing for 3 rounds, and can Chris Curtis get started quick? And from the looks of it, it looked like Imavov would have probably did what he kept doing. We'll never know. Accidental clash of heads, really bad cut. I'm glad they did not let Chris Curtis keep fighting because you have blood pouring right into your eye. You already have a cut. You're already down. You know what I'm saying? To see a vet take a loss like that and, go down in the rankings when, he could have had a shot. I like that they stopped the fight because I know Chris wanted to fight, but you know what I'm saying? I think it was the right call.
Yeah, first of all, really unfortunate way to end the fight. I mean, you never want to see a fight end in end in a scenario like that. But man, this was a fight going into it that I really went back and forth. I picked Chris Curtis to win,
Right.
but the only listen, and I love Chris Curtis. Let me make this clear. I love Chris. I think he's a damn good fighter. The only reason I picked against Imavov in this fight though was because of the gas tank. That was the only reason.
Right.
Only. And Imavov, like you said, we'll never truly know because it got stopped early due to an unintentional foul. But the way the fight was trending, I think he will work on that gas tank, man. And he's doing he came correct. He came ready to rock and roll. So really good performance by him involved, even though it went down as a no contest. We'll never really know what would have transpired in that fight. But by the
Right.
looks of it, Imavov was doing what he wanted to do, wrestling Chris Curtis to death, really at will, was able to do really what he wanted
Hmm.
as the fight went on. But we'll see. Maybe they run it back in the future. Who knows? But
Yeah.
tough team involved and really unfortunate.
Me personally, man, I hope they go their separate ways. You know what I'm saying? I think we seen what would have happened in that fight. If it was
Yeah.
close and it was like a really, really exciting fight, I say running back, but I think they got plenty of other guys to fight for both of these guys, especially in the rankings. Moving up the card, we got first fight of the main card, Marc-Andre Barriault getting the unanimous decision over Eric Anders, man. This marked, one, two, three, four, five Canadians winning so far. We ain't even at the end of the card, man. We did say Barriault has a very good gas tank. We did say, Eric Anders does have gas tank problems. I tell you right now, Eric Anders did show improvement in that area. But ultimately, man, I said it to beat Barrio, you have to be a specialist and you have to compete with his gas tank. And I didn't think Eric Anders was a specialist. I think he's a well-rounded guy, but he does struggle with gas tank issues, and Barrio was just outworking him, man. Getting off the cage, keeping it in the center, and he landed this one combination. He would kick to the body hard and then step in with his jab. And that actually dropped Anders like, the first minute of the fight. It works so goddamn good the whole fight. I was drilling it with my guy Bryce this morning. So Marc-Andre Barriault, that's 2 in a row. Do you ever see this guy cracking the rankings?
Yeah, I think he could. Now, how far can he go once he cracks it? Not quite sure yet, but I definitely think he'll be able to get in the ring.
Okay,
What
okay.
about you?
Mm, I think that top 15 is
Now,
different, bro.
I said just get in. Now, I'm not
I
saying make a run in there, but I say just get in
I think that top 15 different, bro.
there. Okay. Yeah,
You
we'll
know,
see.
moving up the card. Well, let me touch on that. Let me just say the top 15 on middleweight, man, because I can't leave you hanging like that. I gotta give you some context. Andre Muniz, specialist. You know what I'm saying? I think Andre Muniz
Uh,
come before. Chris Curtis, not happening, brother. Not happening. Brendan Allen at 13, not happening,
uh,
brother.
so Brandon
Imavov,
Allen sitting at 13.
Imavov at 12, my boy. Not happening.
Nah, never mind. You good? You
Yeah, all
good? You
right,
good?
all right, all right, all
Because
right.
that's the back half of the race. So,
And you know what I'm saying? The difference with me and Harley on the podcast, I got access to my phone, you know what I'm saying? He using his phone. So that's why I like to bring up, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah. Once I look at the rankings, I'm like, nah, never mind.
yeah,
You
Harley
good?
going
You
off the
good?
dome, you know what I'm saying? Harley going off the dome. That man just like that, you know what I'm saying? All right,
Yeah,
moving
I
on.
winged it, man.
Moving on to the car, man. Hey, look, anybody want to sponsor us? Get my boy a laptop, man. Hit the line, man. We'll promote.
Yeah, hey, sponsor.
But moving up the car, man, in all seriousness, Dan Ige. Looking like Dan Ige. Nate Landwehr, not so much looking like Nate the Train. Dan Ige, man, just really showed there was levels to this. We talked about it, how we both love to watch Nate the Train fight. I mean, who doesn't? We always want to see that post press conference where it goes viral, you know what I'm saying? But we ain't see this because Dan Ige was too busy knocking Nate's head around, bro. I mean, Ige was
Uh,
pretty much dominating this fight. Now, Nate the Train did start to come back in the third round. Nate the Train, if you give this man 5 rounds, he could compete with a lot of these top guys. But 3 round fight, man, he kind of got the engine going late. So good performance by Dan Ige. Dan Ige, man, only lost to the best. You see this man making another run in his career. That's two in a row.
yeah, dude. Because like you said, he's only lost to the best.
Yeah.
I mean, the best of the best. So, dude, he's good, man. And going into this fight, we both picked Danny Gay to win.
Yep.
Me personally, I wanted Nate the Train to win. If somebody came up to me and said, "Hey, who do you want to win?"
Right.
This is a fan. I picked Nate the Train. I'm assuming you would have picked him as well, just as a fan favorite.
Right.
But in the podcast, I remember at least I touched on it that Nate the Train is just there to be hit. You know what I'm saying? He's hittable. You know,
Yep.
it, you can touch him. If you're in his face and you know you can touch him, and Ige showed that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Um, but yeah, props to both guys. Really solid wins for Dan Ige. Nate the Train, he ain't going anywhere, man. He'll learn from it tonight. Think he'll come back better. And look, he can eventually make a run. He just got to go tighten some things up and get back to the drawing board a little bit. But he'll be all right.
So, you know what I'm saying? With Ige, 2 fight win streak, he was already a ranked guy at number 13. I'm hoping to see him fight somebody ranked next. Nate the Chain Man, 35. He's got to go for it right now. So hopefully he gets right back in there and we can see him, get a streak going. Moving up the card, who do we have next? Oh, Mike Mallet taking out Adam Fugit. We finally see Mike Mallet go into the second round. The man had over 10 professional fights, and all of them was in the first round. We wanted to see him go to the second. We wanted to see if he stayed composed. And the same shit he was doing in the first round, he does in the second round. Gets Adam Fugit out of there, man. Drops him, puts on the guillotine choke, and that's a wrap. Mike Mallet, 3-0 in the UFC at 170, puts Canada 7-0 on the scoreboard. I think putting Mike Mallet pretty much putting him at the end of the card right before the Oliveira fight, tells me that the UFC has a lot of stock in this guy. It's obvious that they want to keep going back to Canada. They stacked it with Canadians. Do you see Mike Mallet possibly being the poster boy for like a UFC fight night or something like that? Being the face of Canada for UFC.
Oh yeah, I mean if they keep, I mean, hell, the UFC's telling you without telling you. The
Yeah.
answer is yes. As long as he keeps winning, continues to improve, yeah, definitely. Now, how far will he go in his career as far as being a world champion and all that good stuff? I don't know. Maybe he can, but I don't know. That's still he's still touring out. But as far as him, them going back to Canada. Shoot, I can't even talk. Them going back to Canada and letting them headline a fight night card, absolutely. I mean, I think that could be a very real possibility coming soon.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. 3-0, 170, stack division. Let's see him take on, a step up. Not saying a rank guy yet, but a step up. I'd love to see that for him. Moving up, do Bronx, man. Do Bronx, do Bronx, do Bronx.
Hey,
Damn. And it sucks for Benil. It is the fight game, you know what I'm saying? You gotta take it on the chin, but damn, bro. I feel like Benil could have got him a title shot before this fight, but the man just didn't speak up on the mic. Props to him for not taking that route. Man, do Bronx, bro. Do Bronx. Darius,
yeah.
you know, well, I wouldn't say take him down. Oliveira kind of pulled guard. Darius embraces it like we said he would. Starts landing some good shots. And the minute, like not even a minute, the second Charles got up, bro, just swarms him. I mean, he threw a right cross, head kick that stunned Darius, hopped on him, smelled blood, and Charles Oliveira known for smelling the blood and going for the kill, bro, and that's what he did. He didn't even let this go to the second round. Charles Oliveira, man. We're gonna get right into this before we even get to the main event. This is gonna be a topic right here.
Uh, yeah.
What you got to add, bro? Before I ask you this.
Well, go ahead. I don't want you to lose your train of thought. Go ahead.
So there's gonna be a title shot coming up in October. We know there's a card in Abu Dhabi. We know Islam is gonna be the main event of that fight. We know that. But in my mind, there is three possible opponents for Islam Makhachev. Obviously, Oliveira just did his thing, and Dana White loved it so much that he said he's thinking about putting him on that, rematch, booking that rematch. We have the winner out of Dustin and Gaethje, you know what I'm saying? And then we have Volk about to fight Yair, who had a very close fight with Islam. You tell me who the hell deserves this title shot, man.
Man, you know what? Give it to Charles.
Okay.
Give it to Charles. This is what I would do.
Yeah.
Give it to Charles. And the winner out of Dustin and Justin, Dustin and Justin, they fight the winner out of Charles and Islam.
Okay.
And then you let Volk defend his title.
Okay.
And then the winner of if Volk wants to fight the winner of the winner of the two lightweight fights, then he can do that as well. You know, uh, that's what I would do. What would you do as far as
So we see this happen all the time, man, in the UFC. A guy gets promised a title shot, and then somebody else has a spectacular performance. We forget about that, and we talking about that. It's whoever's relevant at the time, man. It tends to be who they go with. So who would I want? I don't know, man. It's a toss up. I would want Volk to run it back with Islam because it was such a close fight. That's what I really would want. But he has business to take care of with Yair. He's got to
yeah?
get past
That's the
Yair.
only reason why I don't say that yet because he's already booked for Yair.
Right.
So
But let's
you
say he
know,
would beat the hell out of Yair in like first, second round, or just hold unanimous, and he calls for the title. How can you not give it to him? Volk's a guy
when is him and
always
Yair
ready.
fight? What's the date?
I think in July, end of July or mid July. They're
So yeah,
the
do
they're
that in
the
October.
UFC event before Dustin and Justin Gaethje. So like all these guys are fighting in the same time span. So it's like a damn near audition for the title shot. Oliveira
Yeah.
had a great audition. That's gonna be hard to beat. You gotta finish your guy. You can't just do a decision anymore. Um, I think with the Justin and Dustin Poirier fight, I think the winner's gonna get a title shot, but I don't think they're gonna get the quickest title shot, if that makes sense. I think they're gonna get whoever wins that fight is gonna take some damage. Can we agree? That's gonna be a war.
Oh, come on.
Will they
They
be
both
ready
going
by
to the
October? I don't know, man. I think you give them some time. That's a that's a banger of a fight. So like I think they get a title shot. It's just not gonna be in October. You know what I'm saying? Can we agree on that?
absolutely. Dustin and Justin, they both going to the hospital after that fight.
Yeah.
Man. I mean,
Yeah, man. Like,
get,
yeah. And they're
get the
gonna get
ambulance
paid.
ready.
You
They
know what
get
I'm saying?
out
They're
there.
gonna get paid. So I think they ain't looking to rush. Um Now, I think it's gonna be out of Volk and Charles, man, to get the next title shot. Not, you know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah,
if Volk looks really fucking impressive, I mean, Volk had a more competitive fight than Charles had a fight with Islam. So how could you
he
not
did.
give it to him?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So I think it all
yeah.
depends on what Volk does.
I think they'll all get their shot eventually. So I mean, I
Yeah,
think it'll
for
all work
sure,
itself out.
for sure, for sure.
But
Now,
I wanna say this before we move on
what you got?
to the main event. Unless you had something else to add
Mm,
on that one. Looking at it from Dariush's angle, you know, I hated for Dariush, but to me that was his best shot to get a man. Like God, dude, that was his chance to get a title shot. Now I don't know. I don't know what's next for Dariush. And you know, I want to say this, and then look, it don't matter. This what's done is done. And I wanted to pick Charles so bad,
yeah,
so bad. But I watched too much media stuff, and I was like, you know what, Benil's gonna beat him. Benil's gonna beat him in the ground game. I should have picked Charles. It doesn't matter, but I was going back and forth in that fight so hard,
yeah,
and I knew in my gut that I should have picked Charles. But that's irrelevant. Getting back to Dorian, I think Zach, do we see Beneil Dorian get a title shot eventually? Do we? I think that was his best shot, man.
man. I'm gonna say this, man. I think people are very quick to write somebody off of a loss. You know, did we ever think like Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier would be in position to fight for a title after they already had two shots? I mean,
Oh no,
you ask the average fan, you probably say no. Now, Charles Oliveira, I mean, he went on this crazy streak and then lost to Islam, and people were, like kind of forgetting about him. I think Dariush with one good win can be right back where he was. Now, it's gonna take a little bit longer because they got people in line, but with fighting, man, I mean, we could talk about Teofimo. Teofimo, a lot of people were writing him off. Wins the fight, now he's back where he was. All Darius got to do is win. You know what I'm saying? And he can work himself back up. He's only 34. He got 2 good years in him. I think he can still get there.
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Skill wise, yes. But I'm saying, well, I mean, Dustin did it. Got the Khabib fight and the Troy. He
It
called them out
happens
twice.
time and time and time again, man. Just because the guy loses doesn't mean he's out of there, man.
Oh no, I think from a skill standpoint he can, but it's just like, damn, he at least like in Dustin's case, he got the title shot twice.
Right.
But Neil still hadn't even gotten that shot. So it's like it's a little more devastating for Benil because he still hasn't. He took the same route as say Dustin,
Absolutely.
but you know Dustin at least got to that title shot twice. But Benil got so close and it's like fuck, you know,
Yeah.
like he did all that and still didn't even get a shot at the belt. So it's just like damn, skill wise, I think he can do it. Yeah, but man,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
if you hang around, so, Islam's fighting what, twice a year?
Yeah,
So you got the let's say he fights Du Bronx in October. He fights in February again, and he fights in October again. So that's a year and some change, you know what I'm saying? And then you get your shot. So about a year and a half, if he wins 2 fights in between that or 3 fights in between that, he's Gucci, man. He just can't
yeah,
mess up. I think
yeah.
what we both agree on is you can't take another L. Can't do it.
No, no. You got to win 2 or 3 fights to get there.
Yep. All right. So main event time, man. Amanda Nunes doing her thing with Irene Aldana, man. The first round, Nunes was taking over and then it gets cracked with her right hand. And then after that, Nunes just started putting it on her. Relentless takedowns, relentless pressure, relentless striking. Irene Aldana just didn't want to let it go. And I don't blame her. Nunes, man, showed why she's probably the best girl to ever do it in MMA. retires after, double champ. If you're gonna go out like that, man, that is exactly how you want to go out. You don't want to go out on a loss. You don't want to go out losing and trying to chase the title again. Hang it up while you still got it, man. And she had her kid there. It's beautiful, man. Beautiful to watch. Now that does leave 135 completely wide open. I'm gonna throw out a couple names that could fight for the title, and you play matchmaker and match the next title fight for 135 to fight for the vacated title. You got Juliana Pena, you got Raquel Pennington, and you got Holly Holm and Myro Bueno Silva fighting in like a week or two. You know, who are you matching, man? Who are you matching to fight for that 35 title?
So we got
Pena.
Juliana Pena. She gotta get it because I mean, she was gonna get this shot, but she didn't.
Oh,
And then I think you give her Raquel. I really do. I think
I,
it's Pena.
I I have to agree with that, bro.
I think it's Juliana Pena versus Raquel Pennington. And you
Yeah.
know what? Hey, if you want to make the tournament style and say, look, the winner out of Home versus Silver fight the winner out of Pena versus Pennington, I'm all for it too.
Most def, man. I mean, Pennington
Because
is on
because
a 5 fight win streak. Pena champ already. I think it's what makes the most sense right now. I
and I
think
mean,
did they fight before? No. Hold up. I could have swore they fought way back. They were on the Ultimate Fighter together, right? Yeah, that's what it
think
was. They're on the Ultimate Fighter, and no, they never fought each other, bro. So you gotta make that fight. Gotta make that fight.
yeah, I mean it's a no-brainer to get Pena to fight because dude, she was the one that was gonna fight Nunez anyway.
Yeah, 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 definitely.
So I mean,
I mean, you can
but
make that
I
fight
mean,
once Pena gets healthy ASAP.
absolutely, yeah. To me, it has to happen. Yeah. And then I mean Holly Holm, dude. Well, I already said this on the one of the last podcasts. Yeah, I mean if she beats Silva, I mean, don't you think she deserves the winner? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely
but
going to get a title shot if she wins. Definitely.
because think about it like this: outside of those four fighters, who else is there to give the title shot at 135 and over?
I
I
didn't even
mean,
look at the rankings, and the rankings have Pena as one, two Pennington, three Holly Holm. So I mean,
yeah. So, I mean, besides those four, I mean, who else would you go with?
now,
To me, it's a
yeah, yeah,
no-brainer.
for sure. I mean, that makes the most sense. Another question, man. Nunez had the belt at 45. They don't even have rankings at 45 anymore. Do you still see them having a 145 division?
No, and I hate to say this, but dude, there's nobody to fight it for.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no. It's kind of like the Clarissa Shields thing in boxing. I mean,
Now,
even before Nunez announced her retirement, there was nobody for her to fight.
right, right.
So I mean,
Now, I'm gonna bring this up. Um, and this is the only way I think they would have a 145 division. If Kayla Harrison can make 145, the PFL did a great job of promoting her. She's got enough of a name, not the biggest name, but if the UFC would bring Kayla Harrison in, I think that's the only reason why you have a 145 division.
okay, yeah, but okay, two questions about that. Kayla Harris is coming off a loss. Do you think the UFC brings her in coming off a loss?
It would be the only reason to bring in a 145er. If she priced herself out, no, they're not gonna bring her if she priced herself out. But if she come in, taking what she can get and builds her name off of wins in the UFC, I think she could. But that'd be the only reason I see they keep the 145 division.
And number two, what's the what's the rankings in that 145 division? Do they have enough? If you add Kayla Harrison to the mix, do they
And
have enough
that's
bodies
another
that can
thing too
contend
as
this
well.
division?
Like she fought at 55 in the PFL. I don't even know if she can make 45. You know what I'm saying? But let me take a look at, Tapology and see. I'm pretty sure they'll have some rankings there. Like I said, UFC don't even have they have a 145 division and don't have rankings in there. You know what I mean? So that kind
That's
of
what
tells.
I'm saying. Too. They would have to bring in some other girls. You think, huh?
Oh,
From
definitely.
like PFL and other
I
promotions.
think girls like Macy Chasson would immediately be in title contention. And Chasson fought at 45 before. So let me see. Yeah, the last
Yeah,
fight Kayla Harrison had, she weighed in at 155. So I don't even know if she can make 45. If I'm looking at the rankings, let me see. Checo. All right. So this is what Tapology got. They got Cyborg at number one. They have Kat Zingano at number two. Both those girls are with Bellator, so that ain't
and
happening.
they ain't bringing Cyborg back because her and Dana
You
don't
have
see eye to eye.
right. You have Norma Dumont who signed with the UFC. She's at number three. You have a girl from Australia, 15 and 10. I think yeah, she fights for PFL. You have a number five ranked Sinead Kavanaugh. She fights for Bellator. Leah McCart at six fights for Bellator. So yeah, I think the writing's on the wall, bro. She's probably gonna go to Bellator. You know what I'm saying? Most of 145 girls are with Bellator. Kayla Harrison spoke about wanting to fight Cyborg. She's with Bellator. So I think 145 division gets wiped out for the UFC, and I would love for them to add the 105 division.
Yeah, bro. The Atom Wave.
You know what
Dude,
I'm
that would
saying?
be fire. That would be fire.
You would see
You
girls like
think
Angela Hill, Jeannie Fry, like these girls are way undersized for, Karate Hottie, way undersized for 115. You would see them just going 1,000 miles per hour at each other. I would really, really
yeah.
hope to see that.
Dude, it'd be like freaking Rock'em Sock'em just throwing punches and just going at it, bro. Them
You
little
know what
chicks,
I'm
man.
saying, bro? So
You,
that was
you think that happen?
I could see it happening, but I don't see it happening right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I think more girls have to speak out about it. They have to be more vocal about it. And like that way the UFC is aware. Like there's a lot of girls undersized at 115 doing their damn thing in the rankings that can fight at 105.
yeah. Make it 105 for the women and 165 for the men. That's another pod for another day. But yeah,
I wouldn't be opposed to it, man. I think that would be a good move. But now we're gonna talk some boxing, man. We kind of mentioned them. Teofimo Lopez, man, getting
damn.
the UD over Josh Taylor, man. I'm gonna ask you right now, does he still got it?
Hell yeah. And I'm gonna be honest. Let me see this.
Yeah.
Let me be honest. I did not have Teofimo Lopez winning this fight. Nope,
I think we both
didn't.
said though that if he looks like the Teo from old, he'll win this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. But I thought he had too much going on. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
thought he had too much drama, too much, we seen the last couple fights, he looked bad. To say the least, he looked bad. But let me tell you something. Before I get into the actual fight, if Teofimo Lopez continues to look like this, we might have a new king at 140, partner.
Man, and this is like what makes me go back to the Dariush. Like, bro, you could lose one fight and win the next. Like, people are just they're obsessed with what's going on right now. And I think with boxing, seeing Tio take a L and then back on the pedestal that he was on, I think it should encourage boxers to just keep fighting each
Yeah.
other, make
It's
the
all
money.
right. It's all right.
It's okay if you take
Yeah.
a L, man. You can bounce back. Tio proved it.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Dude.
like you said, man, you said it yourself, bro. He could be the face of 140, which is probably the most popular division right now besides the heavyweights.
I agree. Man, I mean, look, do you want to get into the fight or do you want to just talk about him being the face right now? Because,
We
man,
could touch into the fight, man. I know for me personally, the first three rounds were like as close as it can get, but after that, man, Tio was just I mean, he was going into his corner dancing like every time, and I'm like, oh shit, he got
Yeah, high
his
stepping.
back. You know what I'm saying? It's over with, bro. And Taylor could just kind of fell asleep, man, and let the fight get too much of a gap to where he couldn't come back. At first, he was boxing pretty damn good, and just after round three, bro, T.O. just got his timing, got his confidence, and that was over with.
Yeah, man. The first round, I think Taylor came out looked really good. I gave Taylor the first round. I
Hmm.
think you did as well. You know, I mean, it wasn't Taylor by a landslide, but I definitely thought he won the first round.
Right.
And I was like, man, you know, but look, they were banging. You know, it can't, they came out shooting, bro. I mean,
Yep.
it was a fight. You know, uh, the second round was a little bit closer. And like you said, after that third round, Teofimo was just picking the school, man.
Yep.
I mean, look, he was countering Josh Taylor. And you know, I said going into the fight that I thought Teofimo was going to be able to outfight him on the inside, and I mean, I'm sorry that Josh Taylor was going to be able to out muscle him on the inside, but that it was reversed.
Right.
Teofimo was banging him to the body, you know, countering, shooting that uppercut right up the middle. I mean, Teofimo put on a clinic inside, man.
Yeah,
You
hell
know,
yeah.
it was making and look, we know Teofimo Lopez can box, but to see him going there against the bigger fighter, who I thought would have been a stronger fighter, in Josh Taylor, to out muscle him and to just to get him inside and rough him up inside and really beat Josh Taylor at his own game, man.
Yeah.
That spoke volumes to me.
I think, outside of fighting, does T.O. say some questionable stuff? Of course.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
is his dad just like him, or even worse? You could argue that, man. But one thing you can say about those two, man, when they get in the ring, they are a unit. And when they're on, man, they could be anybody. So, like, yeah, I think you have to take the outside stuff for what it is. Um, he had a tough fight with Martin. And we seen him lose his belts to Cambosis. That did happen. But was that the best TO we seen? No. I think what we seen versus Josh Taylor, that's a hard fight for anybody, bro. At 140, and that's saying a lot because 140 is stacked. You know what I mean? I don't
Dude,
think many people gonna be calling for TO's name for a fight.
hell no.
Now, I will say this. Did you see Ramirez getting in the ring after? Jose Ramirez.
No, I missed that.
So
He did.
ESPN, after they interviewed T.O., after they interviewed Taylor, Ramirez got in the ring and, they're both with ESPN. Um, you know, Ramirez is coming off of two wins, Pedraza and Kami. Before that, he lost to Josh Taylor. I think that's probably going to be what's next. T.O. and
Yeah.
Ramirez. Is that a fight you want to see?
That, yeah, I mean, look, it's not a barn burner as like this one was, but I think that's a good start for T.O.'s journey at 140. You
Right,
know, after this fight, because look, it's not a gimme fight, but it's not as tough as Josh Taylor, in my opinion. You
right.
know, get him another solid win that gets a good name. You know, look, if he falls asleep, Ramirez could beat him. Ramirez is a good fighter,
Absolutely.
but after what we saw from T.O. against Josh Taylor, it's a fight that T.O. should win. You know, after what he did to Josh Taylor. So it's a good challenge. You know, you don't want to give him a bug, but give him somebody that's a little bit. I don't want to say easy, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Give him somebody, just a little bit, better matchup for him, and then if he beats that guy, if he beats Ramirez, which he should, then give him another step up again and see what he can do.
And that's why I like asking these questions is y'all aren't just getting this from a regular fan. Like Harley manages fighters. He knows how to move fighters. He knows how the game works. So like
Yeah,
he's letting y'all know what's about to happen, man. Like for real, for real.
yeah.
Not what social media is saying, like what's probably gonna happen. And now let's map out 140 right quick, man. Let's say Ramirez fights Tio, right? We got Progress fighting this weekend. He's gonna fight. He's probably gonna win. You know what I'm saying? We have Devin Haney going to that fight. He said he's going to that fight. Um, do you see Regis and Devin Haney fighting each other?
I mean, look, the contract's not signed right now, but I mean, everything else is yeah. I mean,
You
if
know,
Regis is fighting, and Devin's going, I
yeah,
don't think he's going to just either play a jambalaya. You know
right,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
So,
And Devin has, relations with Eddie Hearn. He fought before on the zone plenty times. So I think, that's probably, let's say that does happen, right? We have Devin
and
Haney.
that's a damn good fight, by the way.
I love that fight, man. And Devin Haney showed that he ain't scared of nobody. He fight anybody. So respect to him.
Hell yeah.
Devin Haney versus Regis. We have Teofimo versus Ramirez. Now, Ryan versus Rowley at 140.
Yeah, make that happen. Yeah.
Gotta make it, bro. Gotta make it.
Yeah.
Now,
Hey, shout out to my boy. I got to shout somebody out, bro. Shout
yeah,
out to my boy G Money, Grant Menard. He
yeah,
called this the other day. The dude ain't even stepped in the ring and he said, look, we gotta have Rolly versus Ryan, man. So look,
straight up.
he's just a fan, but my boy knows his stuff, man. So shout out to him.
Now, there's one belt that we missed, right? So let me check the rankings, man, because those are the big names. I'm forgetting one belt. So let me see, man. 140 champions. I want to say it's Puello. Let's see, 140, 140. Current
You
champion.
want to?
All right. So at 140, we got Orlando Romero, we have Regis Progress, we have Tiafimo, and then we got Sabrio Matias. You ever heard of this guy? Sabrio.
No, sir.
All right, I ain't never heard of him. Let me check the box right, man. Let's see if he fought anybody.
He might have fought Troy, man.
He just won. He just won the vacant IBF junior welterweight title over a guy I've never heard of. So, with this being said, that leaves one belt out, right? And we have one guy who's just fought this weekend who talked about, wanting the title at 140. You feel me? It's your favorite fighter. It's your boy AB, man, Adrian Broner, the
Yeah.
Can Man.
Yeah.
He with Don King now. Can you see, Adrian Broner snatching one of them titles that,
You know
leave
what?
everything open?
Yeah. You know, let Adrian Broner win that little title, and then if for some reason Devin Haney and Regis don't fight, give Regis Adrian Broner.
Look, bro, you can't lie. 140 got the potential to be lit. It already is lit. Let's say we got T.O. got a title. We got Ryan got a title if he beat Roly. You got, the if Haney and Regis would fight, you'd have the winner out of that, both dogs, you know what I'm saying? And then you got
And
AB
then
with the title, bro.
and then
Already be
and they all talk shit too. They all
bro,
talk shit.
bro. Come on, man. Boxing is about to get crazy. It already is. Now,
Yeah.
co-main event action, we had Xander Zayas.
Yeah.
I want to say he's only 20 years old.
He just started though, man.
Bro, he dropped this dude in the first round, you know what I'm saying? And the guy brought him all 8 rounds, which is good to see from a young fighter. You want that out of your guy. You don't want to just first round knockout every single time. So I think that's a guy that could be the face of Puerto Rico boxing, man. What you think?
Hey, dude, he's only 20 years old. He's doing this. Xander's eyes are stud. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm sorry. There ain't nothing else to say. He's just stud.
Yeah, man. And like commentators are already saying like a year and a half from now, you can see this guy winning the title or fighting for a title, which is crazy because he's only 20, dog. I mean,
The boy
that's
can't
pretty
even buy
crazy.
a beer yet.
Say that again.
The boy can't even buy a beer yet, man.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Now, we also did have some other MMA fights. We had ONE FC and we had PFL. So we'll touch on the PFL card. PFL 4, I watched it from top to bottom, man. I love what PFL is doing on the undercard. They'll have some tournament fights, but they'll also showcase some guys who've been fighting in their Challenger series. And there's one guy named Alexi Pangradi. Dude's a stud, good amateur background. This was only his third pro fight, and he trains at Kill Cliff. This is a guy I'm telling y'all to keep your eyes on. Alexi Pangradi. Really good guy. We had some UFC vets, winning this one. Andrew Sanchez split decision over Taylor Johnson. Impa Consagne, he got the win. Arm triangle win, made it look pretty easy. Fought at 185 in the UFC. Now he's at 205, looking way healthier. He gets the win. He advances to semifinals. Chris Wade, another UFC vet, gets the win. But in a crazy on how the tournament format is, Chris Wade does not advance. Um, we tie Flores advancing. Another guy, man, Gabriel Alves Braga. He fought on his contender series. It's pretty much like the contender series, but for PFL. They call it Challenger Series. He fought on this. They signed him off of it. He's 11-0. He just knocked out more than Moraes. Retires, but Braga is a guy I'm telling you, keep your eyes on him. He moves to the semifinals. I can see this guy winning it. Very good prospect. John Silveira wins off an injury, advances to semifinals. Bubba Jenkins gets the first round rear naked choke, advances to semifinals. Martine Hamlet, they're making this guy out to be probably the number one guy at 205. He wins. Mavid Kabulov, he was a guy who had a viral knockout over Damon Jackson. He gets the win over a UFC vet, Tyler Diamond. And the most craziest thing about this fight card was Brendan Loughnane was the champion last year. He gets upset by Jesus Pinedo, and
Yeah,
that's
shout out Jesus.
yeah,
Yeah,
shout out Jesus,
Jesus.
man, real
Mm.
talk. But Pinedo gets the win and he shakes things up. He shakes things up, and some people who wouldn't usually advance to the semifinals do because Brandon Loughnane, doesn't. What I'm getting to, man, is the tournament format. We have a champion, Brendan Loughnane, who won it last year. Shout out Jesus again, man. I'm gonna say it again, bro.
Yeah, Jesus King.
Yeah,
Yes,
bro.
sir.
So Loughnane, doesn't make it to the semifinals, bro. Do you like the tournament format they're running with? And it's not even a tournament,
Man,
playoff system.
nah, dude, I'm gonna be honest. I never liked that point system bullshit.
Yeah,
Never did. If a guy wins a fight, if a guy wins a fight or a woman, I'm saying a fighter, wins a fight, don't penalize them because they don't have enough damn points.
right.
Hey, make it a bracket style. You can have a tournament.
Yeah,
I love the tournament format, but not the point system. Well, if it's the you saying, oh, it is a tournament? No, it's a point system. It ain't no damn tournament.
I think
Just,
uh, I think
I'm gonna use baseball for
they try to reinvent the wheel too much with fighting, man. It's like, what is the number
yeah.
one company? UFC. What do they go off rankings? We seen Bellator do tournaments for the longest. It just didn't catch on. We seen PFL this like fourth or fifth time. It's just not catching on, man. So like,
No, but I'm gonna say this. I like the tournament thinking, but just if a guy wins, he wins. If he loses, he loses. So like you get what I'm saying? I mean, that'd be
yeah,
like
yeah,
I'm
for
gonna just
sure.
use baseball for an example, because the college World Series coming up. Just as an example, if LSU wins their first game against whoever they play, Tennessee or somebody,
Right,
if they win that first game, but the next team wins that game by more runs, oh well, LSU's out of the tournament because they didn't win by enough runs. No, they still won the damn game. I mean,
I,
you get what I'm saying? I mean,
oh
it
yeah,
makes
yeah, for
sense.
sure. Sure. I also got some breaking news, bro. Teofimo, 48 hours removed from his title fight, retires.
Oh boy, stop that.
I swear, bro. I just got the alert on my phone.
Oh boy, no, you did.
I swear, bro. It says Lopez announces retirement. Teofimo Lopez announces
Dude, are you,
and he's walking away from boxing 48 hours removed from winning 140 title.
dude, are you serious?
I don't know if it's negotiation. I don't think it
Yeah,
is.
no, seriously. No, seriously.
No, like for real. I'm for real, bro. You could check, you know what I'm saying?
I
Once we get
swear.
off, swear on everything.
What?
Yeah. Like I said, bro, Tio is a cold ass fighter. When
Well, hold on,
outside, bro.
hold up. Stop, stop,
Yeah.
stop. He said in his post-fight press conference, I mean, not interview, in the ring with Bernardo Osuna. I'm back. Who thinks I'm back? Everybody's hollering, yeah, he's back.
It's money, bro. Got to be money.
Then he's saying, I know he's got, some personal things going on. He's fighting, battling for his son in court. You know, so prayers for him that it goes well. For the kids,
Right.
which is more important than any boxing match in it. So yeah, he definitely got to handle his business. But if it's nothing to do with his son, I'm thinking just off the top of my head, maybe it is because of his son. Maybe he's taking some time away to focus on his son. And if he's doing that, hey, it makes sense. But if he's just doing it for money, come on, man. I
Yeah.
mean, you set yourself up to run the damn division.
But I'm just saying, man, we see fighters do this all the time, man. We see McGregor do it. Like, how many times we're gonna see this? I mean, sometimes guys want to get paid more. You go on strike. I think this is what's going on right now.
Yeah, possibly, but damn,
It works, man. Most of the time it works, bro.
he got everybody hyped up, and then damn.
That's what I'm. But hey, we right here still talking about it. So good public. Any publicity is good publicity. He kn- he knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that he knows what he's doing. He's a smart man.
Yeah, well,
All right, so that was
hopefully we
I
see it again,
literally just
kid.
checked my phone and seen that, so that's breaking news. Now the last thing I'll touch up on before we wrap this thing up, ONE FC, man. I'm gonna say this over and over again. I think they're the number two. I think they're beating PFL. I think they're beating Bellator. The reason I say this, man, they have a whole nother market that the UFC ain't really tapped into, and they're offering a way different it's a way different how can I say that entertainment than what UFC is offering. It's completely different. They are
Yeah,
incorporating Muay Thai, they're incorporating kickboxing, they're incorporating super grappling fights. So like it's for me as a true martial artist fan, I love to see these. I love them. I love it. And like I think for the true martial artist fan, and that's a lot in Asia, man. Martial arts is big out there, you're gonna be really drawn to this. I mean, one thing that is like way different from UFC, you see these high level kickboxers, these high level Muay Thai guys, and they don't have to worry about takedowns. And you really get to see a high level striking fight. And in UFC we got like guys like Alex Pereira, guys like Izzy, but we don't really get to see what they can truly do if it's just a kickboxing fight. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be the worry about takedowns. In ONE FC, you ain't got to worry about that, man. Like at the purest form, they're showing every discipline: grappling, kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA, like, and even the MMA fights.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. The rules are different. The way they score the fight, the way you can elbow on the ground, the way neither the head and all that. Nah, I don't know if I like that. That's kind of vicious, but still, you
I'm
know.
telling you right now, bro. ONE FC is
Oh yeah,
on the
it is.
rise.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch.
I don't see PFL or Bellator competing with them, man, unless they merge.
Not even close. Not even close.
They have to merge, bro. Because, bro, I'm telling you, ONE FC just got something completely different, and they're not trying to force it down our face. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I agree.
So, ONE FC card, I'll touch up on it. Cade Rotolo, he's a big name in grappling. They got him doing a super fight. He wins, of course. We have Super Bond, probably one of the bigger fighters in Thailand. And that's another thing. They fight in Thailand at at the stadium. Forgot what it's called. Look, check. Lupine, yeah, Lupine Boxing Stadium. That's where all the big Thai fights happen. That's where that's your main goal if you're a Thai fighter. And they had it over there. So Super Bond getting the nasty knockout kick, man. So if you're not familiar with Super Bond, YouTube them, TikTok them, and you'll see a bunch of our highlight knockouts. We seen a vet and Nicky Holsten holding his own against a young up and comer. He loses, but had a good display, man. And every single fight had a story to it. It was beautiful to watch. Um, so yeah, if you're not watching ONE FC, man, definitely tune into that. That wraps up the whole weekend of fights. The only other thing that happened was Adrian Broner won and got on the mic and said some crazy things. So And you got anything to add on to this, man?
No, man, great weekend of fights. Uh, Boxing's on the rise. MMA's been doing that thing. 180's coming up. Fun time to be a combat sports fan. Combat sports fan, man. Continue to follow us. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. I did on it at Flash Out Media. And follow us on the Facebook and Instagram, Flash Out Media. Smash the like button. Tell your friends about this. Anybody that likes combat sports, please share the pod for us. And until next time, peace.